He mopped the same marble floors every night, wore the same faded shoes, and always left quietly after his shift. But when the CEO secretly followed the quiet janitor one night, she didn't find a lazy worker or a man hiding something. What she found made her heart stop. And by the end of that night, her life, his life, and the entire company would never be the same. This isn't just a story about a janitor. It's about sacrifice, silent strength, and how a father's love for his daughter broke every wall around a billionaire's heart. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, comment, share with someone who needs hope today. Subscribe our channel Kindness Talks for more real-life inspired emotional stories. Every evening, as the last of the employees left the shimmering glass tower of Halverson Enterprises, a man with a bent back and quiet footsteps entered through the service door. His name was Daniel Ross, a 38-year-old janitor who never spoke unless spoken to, always arrived 5 minutes early, and never missed a day of work. He cleaned floors others dirted, polished glass he couldn't afford to touch, and took silent pride in making the building shine while the world slept. But Daniel wasn't always a janitor. Years ago, he had studied architecture. He had dreams, ambition, and a family. Then cancer came, first for his wife, then for his savings, and eventually for his peace. Now, he worked 2 jobs to care for his 7-year-old daughter, Lily, who had a heart condition that needed regular monitoring and a surgery they couldn't yet afford. In the glossy boardroom above, Cassandra Blake, the powerful and often intimidating CEO of Halverson Enterprises, sat late at night reviewing numbers, oblivious to the man wiping her office window from the outside. She was known for being brilliant, relentless, and completely disconnected from her employees' personal lives. To her, Daniel was a name on a janitorial rotation sheet, until one night, she saw something strange. As Cassandra packed up to leave late one evening, she passed the hallway cameras and glanced at the screen in the security office. Daniel wasn't heading to the subway or the staff parking. He was walking down a dark alley behind the building, alone, holding something in his coat. Her curiosity was piqued. "Why does he go that way every night?" she asked the guard. But he just shrugged. Never said a word. Always the same route. Quiet man. Something tugged at Cassandra, an instinct she hadn't felt in years. That night, instead of going home, she pulled her coat tighter and followed him quietly. She kept her distance as Daniel crossed 2 streets, passed a closed bakery, and entered an old, worn-down laundromat. But he didn't stop there. He walked through the back door, down a narrow corridor, and finally emerged into a crumbling apartment complex. The building looked barely livable. Cassandra's breath caught in her throat when she saw Daniel step into a dimly lit room where a little girl, pale but smiling, was sitting on a mattress on the floor, drawing with broken crayons. "Daddy," she called, and ran into his arms. Cassandra pressed a hand over her mouth. Daniel knelt and pulled a small paper bag from his coat. "I brought your favorite, sweetie. 1 muffin. They had blueberry today." Cassandra's chest tightened. She watched him cut the muffin in half and give the bigger piece to his daughter. They laughed. They hugged. There was love in that room that money couldn't buy. But then she saw him reach for a folder from under the mattress, medical papers, bills, prescriptions, and an envelope marked "Final Warning, Eviction." Cassandra stepped back into the shadows, heart pounding. This man came in every night, cleaned her floors, and left without a word, while raising a sick daughter in a place barely holding together. And she had no idea. The next morning, Cassandra sat in her glass office, staring at her untouched coffee. Her mind couldn't leave the image of Daniel sharing a single muffin with his daughter. She looked around, the leather chairs, the mahogany desk, the digital boardroom screens, and felt suddenly ashamed. She called HR. "I want Daniel Ross's file. Now." They brought it in within 10 minutes. Bare bones. No complaints. No requests. Just routine shift reports. No one had ever really looked beyond his mop. Later that day, Cassandra invited Daniel into her office under the pretense of a maintenance inspection. He walked in slowly, nervous, his uniform clean but worn. "You've worked here how long?" she asked casually. 7 years, ma'am, Daniel replied, not meeting her eyes. And you never asked for anything? I'm just grateful for the job, he said simply. She paused, then leaned forward. You're raising a daughter alone? Daniel froze. His eyes flicked up, cautious, guarded. Yes, he said, after a moment. Lily, she's everything. Why didn't you ever ask for help? He straightened. Because there's always someone worse off. And I don't want pity. I want to earn everything she eats. Cassandra was silent. In that moment, this janitor, had more strength than any executive she'd ever met. The next day, something incredible happened. Daniel returned home to find the building's landlord shaking his head in confusion. Some woman came by. Paid your rent for the year. Said the place needs fixing and she's sending someone. Inside, a basket waited on the floor. It had fresh food, school supplies, and a sealed letter. To Lily and her hero, I saw your strength in silence, and it moved me more than words ever could. From now on, consider your father's job permanent, and his salary doubled. Lily's surgery will be handled. No debt, no interest. Just kindness. Because you reminded me what leadership really means. Cassandra Blake. Daniel broke down in tears right there, holding Lily close as she smiled up at him. Daddy, did we win something? He whispered, yes, baby. We won something money can't buy. Sometimes, it's not the ones in the spotlight who carry the heaviest burdens, but the quiet ones in the shadows. And sometimes, all it takes is one act of compassion to rewrite someone's story forever. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more emotional, inspiring stories.